The matter is, when we're looking at this overall setup and pattern, I think it's sometimes nicest to know what we have, what the timing's going to be, the intensity, all that mojo. And it's right here. We have a weak low pressure that's going to eventually move into the northern Gulf. That thing's going to be drifting east to west. The timing, we have a low that could organize late Wednesday into Friday. Forecast models generally a bit aggressive in the movement, meaning progressive in the movement, I should say, in that maybe this thing moves ashore before the end of the week. The intensity at the moment is always a challenging element of a forecast. The track is one thing, intensity another thing, especially when you have nothing to show for right now, just this mid-level spin that we have. But maybe we could see a depression. Maybe there is going to be a named storm out of it. We will have to wait.
It's like a relationship. You want to be able to define it sometimes, but you can't always define it. And regardless, something is happening, whether it has a title or not.
That's an excellent analogy.
Thank you. Just came up with that one. But, you know, when we've, so far this season, this hurricane season, it has been the northeastern part of the Gulf where water is quite warm, and the southeastern coast here, where we've been able to maybe foster a little bit more development. Where we are looking at this, very similar to that last area of possible development from the NHC that ended up being Chantal. That ended up going towards the Carolinas.
And if you remember, Chantal, when we were looking at the chance of development, specifically looking at a tropical depression, we started watching this particular mode grow, and the chance of development was very high. It was a collection of all these, what we call ensembles, all these members indicating, this thing is going to become a depression. Right now, we only have a handful of these members saying it, so confidence is a little lower, but we already know the environment that this is going to be moving into is warm enough from a sea surface temperature perspective, maybe a little bit of shear, maybe not the type of rich moisture that a tropical cyclone could really thrive in, but still it bears watching.
It does, and remembering that you're surrounded by land, so the opportunity to develop into something more organized beyond a depression is going to be a little bit more challenging. It just depends on where it decides to start to organize, and that's going to be something we pay attention to. Regardless of tropical development, as I mentioned, it's going to be messy, particularly for the Florida Peninsula, but we also have to watch the north-central part of the Gulf Coast, the Gulf states. But for Florida specifically, you just got to be ready for some of this heavy rain and some of these storms that potentially could bring some heavy rain. As we look ahead towards today, you got enough tropical moisture that's going to be setting the stage, and any storms that develop are going to be able to tap into that. Take a look at this. That rain developing in the Jacksonville area just yesterday. They also were dealing with some scattered severe thunderstorm warnings. July is typically a month where you see high moisture, high heat, and these daytime heating storms, but this is going to enhance all of that, right? So as we head further into the week, look what happens. That flood threat, actually, we have a level 2 for today for flash flooding, the level 2 for tomorrow, and you're generally looking at around the I-4 corridor, a little bit north of that, and then further to the southern part of the state. We'll see what happens for Wednesday, Thursday, but it does look like a lot of that shifting further in towards the Gulf Coast, so we would look further in towards Louisiana and Mississippi and maybe the Florida Panhandle. Regardless, paying attention to where some of this rain sets up for the day. Is it a complete washout? No, but it's kind of close. It's just going to be really challenging, I think, to get outside. Most of that convection is offshore. Noticing you can kind of see that very broad spin. So this would be going counterclockwise, right? And not forgetting you have high pressure over the Gulf going this way. So that's why we're looking at the movement of what this broad area of low pressure to push further off across the peninsula of Florida. Most of it's offshore now, but as we saw yesterday, Stephen, I mean, it is helping activate storms over the peninsula.
Yeah, and honestly, we've had what we've been dealing with, the sea breeze every day. If you live in Florida, you're used to it. You get that breeze, and that can kick up some storms too that generally move in from the coast over land, and then as they begin to collapse by about sunset, you kind of start the day over again. But anytime you get an area of low pressure that starts to disrupt the overall flow, you're still getting a sea breeze, but you're getting an added element of some richer moisture, and that's when Florida does start ramping up the flood risk, because you're not just dealing with just these afternoon storms that are no big deal. So with the little bit of spin that we have, and again, mid-levels, A low-level spin is what you're trying to achieve in order to get this tropical system, whether it be a depression, a storm, ultimately a hurricane. But what we have right now still looks pretty disorganized and a bit messy. But that was always the thing that we thought June, July for hurricane season would feature. Messy systems that are really tough to pinpoint exactly where that low's at.
And closer to the coast. No matter what, the moisture is going to be there. Unsettled today, unsettled tomorrow, hopefully weaning from east to west as we head towards the latter part of the week. But the higher totals, I mean, certainly could be around the 3 to 5 inch mark for portions of Florida. And notice how it spreads further to the west in towards New Orleans and Mobile. So this is what we'll be watching through, well, much of the week.
Yeah, looks like the north central Gulf Coast going to eventually become the focus.